What's going on, everybody? Jeff Holiday here, and today I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a quick update on a few things with me, an update on what happened with that woman who was going to drink the Jilly juice, and we're going to look at a new wingnut. Ooh, a fresh wingnut. Should be a lot of fun. So, to explain my absence over the past a little bit over a week and a half, my birthday is April 3rd, and I had quite a time. Despite the fact that, of course, we're all having to be in quarantine and I can't really go and hit the bars or whatever. I don't really do that much anyway. But I did have a rather fun time, and it took a few days to get all of this celebrating out of my system. But I'm back now, and I have been, as I stated previously, working on more higher production videos because it's just what I'm in the mood to do, and I'm working on the Caljam video and a Hemlock Moonwolf video right now. But I happened to go and look at my Facebook page inbox, which I am very bad. I don't check that very often, and there were several people that had pointed me towards this guy, Tom Barnett. And people were very alarmed by what this guy had to say. Now, there's a video in specific that he put out, and YouTube removed it, and then he put it out again, and YouTube removed it, and it's now been mirrored a lot, and YouTube is still trying to remove it. I haven't seen it yet, so we're going to watch it. But first, let's learn a little bit about who this Tom Barnett is. I want all the context, because I'm not just going to look at any old random person. There had to be something that really caught my eye. And there is. You see, this is coming from a website called the IMOparty.com, the Involuntary Medication Objectors Party. And this is his bio. Tom Barnett, holistic health practitioner. New South Wales, Richmond, Byron Bay electorate. He's running for public office. Politicians are renowned for their words. Tom prefers action over words, questions over answers, common sense over pseudoscience, and the right to freedom of choice over an extortionist dictatorship. I didn't know that there was extortionist dictatorships in Australia, but what do I know? Electing politicians to change politics is an antiquated approach. Tom is the antithesis of the current system, which means that he's the perfect person to effect change. Dun dun dun. Your vote for Tom in the IMOP in the Richmond electorate is a vote for freedom of choice, bodily autonomy, and the right to a healthier inner and outer environment. Wow. Wow. Tom is a holistic health practitioner. He studied biomedical science before undertaking the teachings of natural medicine, nutrition, physical therapy, high-performance conditioning, and psychology. Having missed out on much of his 20s and 30s due to vaccine and amalgam damage, he is passionate about our right to a healthy internal and external environment. More than anything, Tom supports informed choice and sovereignty under common law. Ooh, Tom understands our constitutional rights and how they differ from corporate statutes. His knowledge and experience in health and human rights is an invaluable asset to everyone that desires a free and healthy society. So he's trying to run for public office under the Involuntary Medication Objectors Party. Well, I wonder who they are. Well, this comes from their Facebook page. The party is committed to defend all the rights of all Australians to decide whether they want themselves, their children, or their charges to be medicated. The party is committed to work to repeal legislation that compels Australian children to be medicated against the will of the parents, opposes any legislation that in any way discriminates or penalizes, you know what it is? Oh, here we go. This is a good one. It's committed to objecting to and repealing any legislation that has to do with involuntary medication on any scale, such as vaccination and fluoridation of our city and town water supplies. It's an entire political party in Australia dedicated to fighting vaccines and fluoride. Wow. And just so we have like a good understanding, we're going to briefly look. Here's their page, top link right here. They're shilling for Dell Big Trees, The High Wire, blowing the whistle on COVID-19. IMO Party founder Michael O'Neill shares his views on coronavirus disease 19 and the pandemic of fear. Wonderful. Which medical procedures and products should be forced? Immunization requirements. All we need now is some crappy memes, and we'll have our, oh, hey! And of course, they have a YouTube page that nobody watches any of the videos on, and they have here an Instagram page. with all of their noble efforts of pissing off people in public are cataloged. That's wonderful. But yeah, what we're here for is apparently this video that is very, very disturbing, that people really wanted me to watch and cover. So I guess we're going to take a look at that now.
Hey, I've had quite a few questions over the last few weeks, so I'm making this for my friends to clear a few things up. First and foremost, something you should know, you cannot catch a virus. And why can't you catch a virus?
What now?
Because it's impossible. So why is it impossible to catch a virus?
You can't do a thing. Why? Because it's impossible. Oh, okay.
Question.
A virus is alive. Is a virus a living thing? No. So how is it that people think that you can catch something that is not alive?
So I'm actually re-recording my answer to this because I don't like what I said initially, just like on the fly. Viruses are alive and they're not. We have changed our answer on this throughout the years for various different reasons. It depends on what kind of lens you look at it through. A virus cannot replicate on its own. It needs a host organism in which to do so, a host cell. A virus can't move on its own, but a virus, once in the environment of a cell that is infected, does have the chemical properties allowing it some degree of motion. But you have to understand that these are so simplistic that when you narrow things down and you get simpler and simpler and simpler, this is simpler than like single cellular organisms. It's so simplistic that trying to make the distinction between whether it's alive or not makes no sense whatsoever. It's a pointless argument. However, I can say this. Compared to other things that are obviously not alive, like base minerals, like rocks, it's obviously more alive than that. Okay?
Now, I know a lot of people are genuinely concerned, so that's why I'm making this, to hopefully cure some of the unnecessary fear and stress. And if you are feeling that, it's because you're causing it for yourself. And just so you don't think I'm sitting here making stuff up, I'll quickly tell you my background so you know how and why I'm telling you these things. I was one of those kids that could read and write before I even started school. I knew my 1 to 12 times table before other kids even knew how to open a book. I won academic scholarships at 2 expensive private schools. I did 6 years of science, which included medicine. I did 6 years of natural health and medicine. And I spent 3 years solely looking into the nature of viruses, bacteria, protozoans, fungus, and parasites. And as a practitioner, I treated myself and a number of other people successfully long-term for conditions of the same. And
You're a holistic health practitioner. That's not a fucking doctor. You're not treating fucking anybody. You're doing the same thing any old lady with a little essential oil shop could be doing. Just giving advice on various random little possible home remedy cures. That's it. This whole like, listen, you should believe me on what I got going on because I'm basically a super genius is really fucking cringy. It's cringe as fuck, dude. It's, look, no, I'm sorry. You do not come across as the Chad of fucking immunology, alright?
when I did my last IQ and aptitude test, I was taken into a separate room and I was interrogated to see if I cheated. And more than anything, unlike Google and Facebook, I don't have vested financial interest dictating what I can say, and I don't have shares in vaccine companies. So,
Well, okay, you don't have shares of vaccine company. Of course you have vested in financial interest in this. You're literally running for public office. You're a holistic health practitioner. Of course you have a financial vested interest in this. What in the hell? How do you expect people to ever just believe that, oh, he doesn't have any financial ties? He only makes his living by trying to convince people that he knows what he's talking about. So they pay him money, and they see him instead of the doctor. You're a scumbag.
what is a virus anyway? Well, a virus is nothing more than a solvent, and these solvents are created within the cells of the body. This is why you cannot catch a virus. Viruses are created cellularly. Now, the body can create hundreds of thousands of different viruses at any time. So why does a cell need to create a virus or a solvent? Created in response to the built-up toxicity that...
Okay, first of all, none of that's true. That isn't true at all. I don't know how you could say, like, I have a genius level IQ and I have directly and explicitly for years studied viruses, and you don't actually know what a virus is. You are specifically stating the wrong thing, the thing that it is not. Like, what? No. That's like me saying, look guys, I'm a super genius, and that's why pasta is actually seafood? No.
That we have in our bodies. So how does a cell become toxic? Well, a lot of people have spent a number of years putting shit in their minds and shit in their body. A lot of people think that it's just totally fine to eat supermarket food, you microwave it, just get flu shots injected into you every year, just drink your tap water. People that go after organic food are tinfoil hat wearing boogers. The thing is that nature doesn't care what you believe. You can believe that any of those things are true, but nature doesn't care what you believe. So right. A lot of people have asked me, what is a flu? Well,
viruses come from nature, bro. There are very few things in this world more natural than a virus. Okay?
Flu is a viral detoxification or a cleansing.
Oh,
a cold, on the other hand, is mostly bacterial. And for the most part, what needs cleaning out of the cells are environmental toxins such as heavy metals, plastics, any kind of environmental industrial pollutants, the chemicals that you use in your home to clean things with, things you put in your body.
So this guy is actually saying that you need to detox your cells. Like the cells in your body need to be detoxed. And not just that you have toxins inside your body that need to get out. Your cells have toxins. You don't even know what a toxin is. This is amazing.
And so on and so forth. Now, a virus does not attack cell tissue. What happens is that as a virus, which is a solvent, breaks down the toxic residue within a cell, it creates essentially a toxic waste. So that's why you'll feel shitty if you've got a viral infection.
No, a virus hijacks a cell, forcing the cell to make more of itself, more of the virus. And then they burst out and they go into other cells. That's what they do. Viruses are incredibly simple. They are not hard. The finer details of how all of these biological mechanisms work together, or how to stem that, how to fight back the tide, is very complex. Immunology is incredibly complex, but the function of how a virus works, nah, dude. The basic fundamentals are real easy. Anybody who literally spent longer than, I don't know, a day Googling it would know this. I mean, you can go watch, Crash Course Science, and they will teach you exactly what a virus is. None of this is hard. It's just everything he's saying is a lie.
A virus is specific to specific cells in the body. So somebody with hepatitis, for example, which affects the liver, does that affect the heart? Do they have lung problems? Do they have brain or gonad problems? Likewise, a virus that attacks the lungs will not affect the kidneys. It's because the virus is specific to specific cells in the body.
No. Bro, as hepatitis progresses, if it's untreated, it can affect a whole lot of systems, a whole lot. And you'd know that too if you knew anything about hepatitis.
So because a virus is not transmissible within your own body, it should make sense that a virus is not transmissible between people. And it's especially impossible for a virus to make the jump between species. This is why you can't get an avian flu, a swine flu, a bat flu, a monkey flu, or any other flu that affects an animal.
Viruses can't see. They don't have eyes. Viruses do not have any sensory organs whatsoever. They cannot tell what they are inside of. They don't care. Viruses don't care. Viruses don't have minds. They couldn't care if they wanted to. Viruses literally only do one thing. They replicate. If they can replicate somewhere, they do replicate somewhere. The fact that it can cross from one animal species to another animal species is purely because there is enough genetic similarity in specific types of cells that it can make that jump. And as viruses mutate, as everything that is alive mutates, as we've talked about many times on this channel, it can start potentially jumping to more species or more cells. Again, you would understand any of this if you had any functional understanding of what a virus is.
There is an intelligence that runs through all of life. It's why seeds know when to germinate. It's why animals know when to mate. So the body knows when it's a good time to undergo a cleaning. And it knows when it's a good time from the environment and climatic conditions. This is why a number of people in the same area can undergo a viral detoxification. But again, does everybody get a viral detoxification at the same time? You already know that the answer is no. So why is that? Well, they may have already undergone a recent cleansing. They may just be very healthy people, and they're always watching the way they eat, the way they think, the way they move, the way they sleep.
Even if you're a healthy person versus a sick person, a virus does not care. A virus will only try to do the one thing that it always does: infect and replicate. That's it. It doesn't care. There is no etheric energy field that is directing a virus to only affect people at certain times in specific situations. Even the basic logical fundamentals on how this is supposed to work make no sense. They make absolutely no sense. This is just straight up woo-woo mysticism, and it doesn't even make sense. There's no coherency here.
Intelligence that runs through all of life means that that body knows that it does not have to undergo a viral detoxification at that point in time. Additionally, our bodies all talk to each other, particularly our immune systems. This is one of the ways that we're attracted to the opposite sex. We can sense their immune system. It's how we know that we can create a genetically diverse offspring.
Oh, I don't know what he's going to say. This is the first time I've ever watched a video about him, but I wonder if he would say that, like, homosexuality is a byproduct of, like, being toxic or something. That would be fascinating.
That will have the greatest chance of survival. We sense another's immune system partly by scent, and this has been taken away quite a lot in modern life. Things like perfumes and colognes, and especially when women go on the pill, it can affect their ability to sense a man's immune system. This is why some women come off birth control when they decide it's time to have a baby with their partner, and they smell them for the first time, and they realize that they're actually not attracted to them. And while I can't condense more than 10 years of experience into a short video, hopefully that's enough to show you why you cannot catch a virus.
Look, I was all ready to have your baby, but then I came off the pill, and nah, man, you stink. I'm just not gonna do it anymore. Nah, your immune system smells terrible, and now I don't want to. What the fuck? This is supposed to compel people? You know what's sad about this? I'm sure it does. I'm sure that there are quite a few people who legit think that this is absolutely real. I mean, the ratings on this video are really disturbing.
So I guess it's time to tell you the only way that you can actually catch a virus.
I got a boner.
The only way that you can catch a virus is by having it injected into your bloodstream. So remembering that viruses are created cellularly as a response to your internal environment, which means, yes, taking responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and beliefs, all beliefs being a form of ignorance, because you know if you have to believe something, it's because you don't know.
Wow. That is one of the dumbest fucking things I have ever heard in my life. All beliefs are a type of ignorance, because if you have to believe in something, it's because you don't know. Wow. That is massively idiotic. This is one of those people who are, I'm a medical intuitive, okay? And I can just intuit and I just know what's wrong with you, okay?
So what happens with that incubated virus is it's sterilized and put into a vaccine. Now straight away you don't want that because that's bad news. Then when it's added to 70 or 80 chemicals, you definitely don't want that in your body. So when these viruses are loaded into vaccines and...
I wonder if this dude's head would explode if somebody explained to him that his entire body is made of chemicals.
Flown all the way around the world, and people are getting their flu shots and all their other vaccines. That's the only way you can get animal tissue into your own bloodstream. It is so far beyond the realm of possibility to get animal tissue into your bloodstream by way of being around people, or from surfaces, or from the air, or from any other way other than injection. So you really want to question...
I mean, there is always bestiality.
All this advice that's being given out about your toilet paper and your hand sanitizers and your everything else, and the idea that this virus is killed upon contact of heat or anything else, because a virus isn't alive in the first place, so how can you kill something that is never alive? So there's only two things that you need to do. One, don't get a flu shot, actually don't get any shot. And two, don't stay in your house. You gotta be outside getting sunlight and fresh air if you want your body to run optimally and not need to undergo a viral detoxification. There is something else you can do actually, and that is to turn off your TV and your social media. And I did make this video to help to bring some common sense and start relieving some of that fear and stress So I won't go too far into what's really going on with this worldwide pandemic. By the way, who's verifying these deaths? Like, who's actually counting these deaths? And who's actually verifying that the deaths that do occur aren't from any standard flu, which, by the way, flus kill 500,000 to 1 million people every year.
So, I mean, it's really no big deal, right? Do we know, is anybody going around with a piece of paper and a pencil and being like, stick a knife in him? No, that one's actually dead. Okay, one. We need a really sharp, pokey stick to poke the cadavers, make sure they're dead. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. You could literally actually have footage of somebody doing that, and this guy would be like, that's not what they're doing. They're harvesting back their viral vaccine poison or what, something. I don't know.
Every year. It only affects the weak, and if it's not a natural virus that's happening within your own body for beneficial purposes, the only way you can get that is to have an injection. So instead of thinking you're doing the right thing by using all the correct words like COVID-19 and self-isolating and social distancing, and instead of staying indoors like a self-indulgent cactus, washing your hands like it's going out of fashion and humping doorknobs,
farting in bathtubs and laughing your ass off,
and dictating to other people what they should be doing with their lives, when perhaps they're just immune to media. So guys, if you're doing that, then you're not actually helping anything. What you're really doing is you're laying down, you're bending over, you're spreading your legs, and you're letting the long arm of the system get itself shoulder deep inside of you. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Most people have no idea about how the world works.
But this guy does, right? I wonder if this dude, like, if he's a full-blown conspiracy theorist, like he's a QAnon kind of guy, or maybe like Illuminati or something. But it's obvious that his beliefs are even way more wackadoo than what he's saying here. This is pretty choice.
Certainly don't have any idea about how the mind and body works, and there are some things going on that if this goes down the way people are letting it go down, you can say goodbye to what you have left of your rights and freedoms in this world. So if that's been you, pull your finger out, get outside, do normal things, watch the streets and watch what's going on out there. Because if you're sitting in your house, counting the number of days in your social isolation, counting death tolls like it's a fucking Olympic medal tally on the TV, you are literally paving the way to losing your rights and freedoms, and you're going to come out of your house with less than what you had when you went in.
Well, that was incredibly disturbing. I can see why everybody wanted me to watch this video. Yeah, he's an idiot. That's my big brained conclusion from that. He either does not understand what a virus is, or he intentionally believes it is something else. What do you say about belief again?
All beliefs being a form of ignorance, because if you have to believe something, it's because you don't know.
So, yeah, no, I'm fascinated. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this guy because I have a feeling he might get up to even more bad news and tomfoolery. We'll see. If any of you guys out there are following him, especially my Australian audience, by all means, please let me know if he misbehaves any further. All right, so the last thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to talk very briefly about what happened with the woman who was going to go on the Jilly Juice protocol. Now, she has since made it more public what she's doing, and in fact is much more outspoken about it. I don't necessarily feel the need to have to maintain the discretion that I showed before, but I'm going to for now. So M did in fact begin drinking the Jilly Juice protocol. She is drinking it with her teenage daughter and her husband. I do not know the status of whether or not they are trying to give it to their animals. But I also haven't been following it as much as I would have liked to, mostly just because I've been very busy. She's now recording testimonials of her progress on the Jilly Juice protocol. She is saying that it is the reason why she's having an easier time to breathe. And of course, Miss Jillian Epperly is grinning from ear to ear because in her mind this validates her claims, and it's very disturbing and it's very annoying. I have a feeling, at least it seems now, that whatever it was that was causing M to be very, very ill is starting to subside, and that's good for her. But I do have a feeling with this super boosting Jillian's ego and the disturbing trend of Jillian's videos lately, that we'll probably have to address it sooner rather than later, but we'll see. It is what it is. I'm going to go back to working on some of the higher production videos. I am also trying to do a lot more Twitch streaming, twitch.tv/RealJeffHoliday, so that we can all at least be together in self-isolation and hanging out a little bit. So join me there. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yep. Anyway, crazy times still, but we'll get through it one way or another. I hope you are well. I hope your family's well. From mine to yours, take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.